Welcome to Encounter Grace, where we come face to face with God's work in the world for our good. Join host Jason McKnight as we explore practical issues of community, theology, and leadership in everyday life.
Hey, welcome to Encounter Grace. We're glad you've joined us today. Whether you're a longtime listener or maybe you're just jumping into this election special series that we're doing, my name is Jason McKnight, and I'm so glad that you're with us. And here in Kinston, we are having a mayoral race, a mayoral vote. In a few weeks, we're all going to vote for mayor. And so we reached out to each candidate to invite them to be part of a conversation. And today, I'm so excited to welcome Mayor Don Hardy. Mayor, thank you for being here.
Thank you much, Pastor McKnight. It's indeed an honor and a privilege, pleasure to be here today. We
talked last on the Daily Grace a year ago or more. Actually, it was in the spring, I think, of 2020 when COVID had us all living at home.
Absolutely. We had a great stage and we had a good time.
Well, it's good to be here. So what we're doing today for everyone and also for Mr. Mayor, we are going to ask the same questions of each candidate. And the idea is to help the candidate get their message out to the broader public and to help us as voters and citizens get to know each candidate. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some softball and personal questions, and then we're going to get into a couple of issues that we want to know, I want to know anyway, to help us grasp where you stand. So first question, why do you want to be reelected?
Right. So to continue what I'm doing thus far since 2017, that's to push our city in the forward direction as we start to advocate for the things that we need most in our communities, such as right now, of course, navigating through the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccinations, testing, food, being able to collaborate with many other agencies to provide those resources for our community to tap, especially in the areas of our most distressed census tract areas, that folks are underserved, that have insecurities of food, that type of thing. So we want to continue to do that immediate type response and also focus on broadband infrastructure, those needs, Wi-Fi, for our students in the schools, safe spaces for our kids to go and our parks and recreation facilities. As I'm currently doing now, we're trying to finish those jobs up where we can you go to our parks and rec to be able to tap the Wi-Fi, go to our like Pearson Park and be able to sit down at maybe a solar panel charging station and tap into the charging panel and get the Wi-Fi, that type of thing. But so moving forward, I want to be able to provide the resources, advocate for our city, as I'm currently doing at the local, state, and the national level, being able to bring in those resources like ARP, advocating for the American Rescue Plan thus far, and also this big infrastructure deal that we have coming up that I've been on videos and trying to advocate for our city. As you know it, we need roads that need to be resurfaced.
It's nice to see Queen Street get resurfaced.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's the best thing about living in Kinston?
The best thing is being around folks that you can actually put your hands on and you can talk to and going door to door and being able to feel what's going on in the city, being able to understand and listen to those folks in our community.
That's great. Where did you grow up and how long have you lived in Kinston?
I've been here forever. So I was born and raised here in Kinston, and I look forward to, doing all I can while I'm here. Of course, I left, went to the Navy and things of that nature, but
That's
I'll
true.
always live here.
How long were you in the Navy?
4 years.
4 years. But aside from that, basically, you've been part of this community.
Forever.
So good. So good.
Born in the hospital here as well. So.
You were born in this hospital?
I was.
Oh, that's great. That is so great. Yeah. Well, let me get you to wave a magic wand. Think about a magic wand. If you could solve one problem in Kinston right now, if you could wipe it clean, what's the one thing you would do? Poverty.
Right. And I think that magic wand is on back order. I've been requesting it ever since 2017, but they're backed up. Those wands.
So those magic wands, yeah.
But so poverty, in our community.
That's good.
Yeah. So I wish we all can prosperity.
Yeah. What are the three biggest things that the mayor needs to focus on next?
Mm-hmm. So right now, you got infrastructure needs. Water, sewer infrastructure needs. You have Wi-Fi, accessible Wi-Fi, affordable. Then you have really and truly, you have housing issues. When you start talking about affordable housing, we need more housing in our community to be able to have the folks that come live and work and eat in our community. So we have the jobs, and we are working very, very hard to pull those industries here, economic development and the North Carolina Global Transport. So once we get those jobs open and ready to hire, we got to have folks to be able to live here, have a place to stay as well. So affordable housing is a big deal.
Great. Let's back off of politics for just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Let's, which we'll get back to it, and I'm putting you there. But one of the things that we say is that everyone sees the world through their own glasses, through their own lenses.
Right.
And some people call that a worldview.
Right.
I'm going to ask you something a little tough. Okay. Can you define for us your worldview? How you see the world?
Well, I see the world as a place of opportunities to be able to help someone else always, because this is the reason why we were put on this earth in the begin with. We're put here on this earth for a purpose, on purpose, and it's to help others to achieve their goals, because we are going to need some help along the way. So I just think that this is a land of opportunities and a way to help others to get to what they need while helping yourself.
That's good. That's good. Kinston is part of Lenoir County,
right?
And you've been part of leading the government of Kinston as the mayor,
county seat,
for the 4 year. Yeah, and it's a county seat of Lenoir County. How do the city government and the county government need to work together?
It needs to be a hand-in-hand approach. You need to be able to count on each other. I would like to call them like a big brother, so to speak, because we all have to work together for the betterment of our city, town, or Kinston, period.
Yep.
So there's definitely have to be some working together. And I think we're doing that, and I would just like to do more.
Yeah, that's right.
I would like to do more. I work with our state and our national folks as well, but I would love to do more with Lenoir County.
And what's something that you'd love to see get done with Lenoir County, like the two governments?
Right. So being able to work together to put things in place to apply funding, like a transportation piece, where we could actually do a 24/7 or 12-hour type of route throughout our city, where people that need transit, are able to tap that resource, and we're able to provide some type of transportation for our community, because there is definitely a need for that. So hopefully in the near future, we're able to collaborate on how to put that in place, who can do this or who can do what, but it has to be a collaborative effort in order to get it out. And it costs money.
Yeah, that's right.
It costs money, but I think we can apply for grant funding and be able to get it done together. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I foresee us doing.
That's good. Thinking of the two governments and working together locally, let's take a step broader, not national, but philosophical. What is the role of government in society?
The role of government is there to assist and or aid those in our community to be able to put use of our money, our funding, to use it in the best way possible to help as many people as we can. Be able to draw folks to our community, to be able to have a bolstering small business community. We start talking about retail, economic development. We're supposed to be that driving force to help bring things here for our community to be able to enjoy, and also provide a safe space, a safe place for those to work and live here. Our law enforcement agency, our police department, the sheriff office, and emergency services. Being able to provide those type of resources to our community so that they can have a better life moving forward.
That's good. What party are you affiliated with?
I'm a registered Democrat.
You're a registered Democrat. So let me ask you this question,
Right.
Two sides.
Okay.
If I'm liberal or if I'm conservative,
Okay.
why should I vote for you?
Well-
Answer for each of them.
Okay, so the thing is, and this is the thing I hate about, politics, period, is you always should choose or look at a candidate for what they are, not, a whatever party they're a part of, affiliated with. I'm not a what you would call a party-driven person. I'm a people-driven. You should be people driven and based upon what you like to see done and how this person could actually do something to help you and your family or our community as a whole. Being a conservative, I understand those views. Being liberal, I understand those as well. I think that we must come to the middle and always make the best decision possible. You recognize the views of a conservative. I recognize the views of a person that's liberal. So, and you just take it and say, okay, what can we do best? What is the best thing to do? Can we, we got to give and take.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. You're not going. Let me say this: you're not going to impress everybody or make everybody happy. So you just got to do what's going to benefit or affect the most people.
Yeah, that's true. I heard Ben Carson, the great neurosurgeon, and then he became the Secretary of Housing under the last administration. And I heard him once say when he was speaking at the prayer breakfast in Washington, do you remember this? President Obama was in office and he was there, and he said, "Mr. President, in order for the eagle to fly, you need the left wing and the right wing." And I'm like, that's great.
Absolutely.
Probably everybody knows that, and I just heard it that day. But
that's a really good way to put it.
You gotta sort of
Come
figure
together.
all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a statement that we've heard a lot in the last several years,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask you to help me understand what's true about it, and then to help me understand what's disingenuous or what's over the top about it.
Okay.
And here's the statement.
Okay.
The system is racist. What's true about that? And then what's disingenuous about saying that?
When you say the system is racist, and
We live in a racist system.
All right. Okay. So there's some people that have the view that they see everything that's racist. They compare it black and white. They think that, okay, just because I'm black or just because I'm white, I have opportunity to succeed better, or just because I'm white, I got white privilege, or whatever the case may be. I think that when somebody make that statement, it's about their view. It's the way that they view it. I never make the statement. Now there are some racist individuals, right? And there are some racist folk in our community.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to talk about the system, it's all about how you view things or how you grew up or what you've seen or been through. This is why you make the determination as the system is racist. You have your own opinion about that. Now, me, myself, is, when you say the system is racist, I gotta get an understanding of what you mean when you say that. You understand that? So I think that there's some things, there's some racist individuals or racist folk, and some people go over the top, and always think it's about black and white. This person did this because of that, or whatever the case may be. I've always been that person to say, okay, we got to give folks the benefit of the doubt here, and we got to be able to believe, in each other, no matter if you're black or white,
Yep.
brown or black,
Yep.
whatever the case may be. But that's what it means to me for the most part.
That's good. I appreciate you sharing that, and I appreciate you letting me put you on the hot seat like that.
Yes, sir.
For 3 years, for 4 years now, I've seen everywhere help wanted signs. Help wanted signs. I've lived here 18 years, never seen help wanted signs until the last 3.5, 4 years, and now they're everywhere. In fact, I'm on Facebook the other day, and I see Sanderson Farms. If I did the math right, they're going to pay you $37,000 a year with no education and no experience, plus benefits to work in their factory. So this economy is trying to grow, and that's a great thing. That's on the one hand.
Right.
On the other hand, we have many folks in our community who are struggling chronically on social assistance. And social assistance is a really good help in a crisis.
Right.
But for long-term human flourishing, it's not that helpful. So here's the question. That's the story. Here's the question.
Okay.
How would you and your government help folks transition from social assistance to the joy of supporting themselves?
So if you look back, and I'm gonna just say post COVID-19, take a look at, the position that folks were in, right? People were struggling then before COVID-19 and understanding that there are now even more jobs available. So, and social assistance is necessary in a crisis. What you need to know is that, or what I would do, like right now in this particular moment, because we are in need of folks to work. If you're getting social assistance, you should tie in another piece where, okay, if you are getting social assistance, you need to be able to provide this. You need to be going to get an education piece, a trade. You need to be able to show that you are actively looking for work. You need to be able to show that you are trying to do something to put yourself in a position. Otherwise, by this time period here, if not, we're going to stop or reduce. We're going to reduce it to below what you would be getting paid on a normal job, and then help push you into the work field. That's the way that I feel that you should do it, and even more so now. And I foresee that those benefits will probably be cut off at some point, so that we can help push folks into the work field. But I just believe that if our Congress, our folks would tie in that piece, or even our state, that, okay, you have to be doing something while getting these funds.
Yeah.
Did
you ever think you'd agree with Newt Gingrich? That's what he said in '94 when they passed, Clinton and him, and they all passed that back in '94.
Yeah.
That's great, though. I mean,
Yes, sir.
makes sense to me.
Right.
And I guess that's a hard thing is maybe people get to Washington and sense doesn't always stick around.
That's right.
But that just makes good sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You need a crisis, but there's got to be an end date.
It does. It does.
And I like even your idea of diminishing checks, or I forget the better word, but just in terms of, after X number of weeks, your checks diminish, especially. That week should be really small in an economy where there's probably 500 jobs open in this county.
Right. And there's a lot of them. I can assure you that. And anybody wanting a job, I can definitely and get you one.
Yep, that's right. Well, let's get that. Maybe you should put that on your bumper sticker.
Right. Do you need a job? I can get you a job.
Because I think that's where flourishing comes from.
Right.
But anyway, you're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you.
Right. Right.
Hey, economic development inside the city versus, most of these jobs that are coming here, they're planting in the county. Anything happening in the city to expand the economic footprint inside the city?
So, yes, sir. When you start to talk about these, you got the North Carolina Global Transport here.
Is that inside the city?
Yes, sir.
I did not realize that.
It's considered to be a part of the city, so to speak. It benefits the city. Of course, we supply light.
Well, that's right, but
electricity, water, sewer, that type of thing. And when you start to talk about Crown and Sanderson Farms or Second Plan, and Jetstream out there, FRC East, Draken, all of that, is a big deal because you're collaborating with community college, city of Kinston, Little County government. You're creating jobs, economic development. As I sit on that board of directors as well for the GTP, so I'm that yes vote to be able to help draw folks to our community. So that's a big deal for us. And I foresee like Sanderson Farm is building, they have a new mill, if I'm not mistaken, or creating more jobs. It's just, we're in a good season. We are creating jobs. Nobody can say that we're not growing economically. We just have to get people back to work or wanting to apply for those jobs and get those benefits.
I think you need to call social assistants and say, let's turn the spigot off.
Right.
That's me. I'm not running for that.
Right.
All right. Another question, different topic.
Okay.
Tell us what you're doing or what we need to do about the floods that keep hitting Kinston.
Right. So I've had many conversations with all of our elected officials that represent us on the state and the federal level. I can assure you that. I've been to the General Assembly, and I've been on Capitol Hill every year since I've been elected. And now I think it's House Bill 500, if I can remember, House Bill 500, where they allocated the most money they have ever done in history for flooding, and being able to put models in place to reduce flooding mitigation options. Hopefully here soon in Kinston, we'll get something back from the engineers as to how we could actually reduce or slow flooding in our communities. So we're just waiting to see what that snapshot look like and to see what we can implement and put in place to help in our city. I can show you Eastern Carolina Alliance. I'm a part of that as well. We just start talking about disasters on the coast, moving from the west to the east. So you're talking about from here to like Wilmington, at the coast, and all those folks that get hit very, very hard with flooding. So our focus has to be on putting something in place to protect our infrastructure and the infrastructure that we're trying to build. So we must build flood mitigation measures into our infrastructure moving forward. Just like our water sewer is crumbling infrastructure. I can assure you that our fund was depleted from Hurricane Matthew, Florence, Michael, Dorian, Isaias, all of those, destroyed, our infrastructure. We're doing good, but right now I can tell you this, it's been a hard row. Hard boat to row, what you would call it, from 17 to now, and we're just receiving some of our funding from 16 from Matthew. Back from the federal government, so from FEMA, so to speak. So it's definitely something that we must continue to put our finger on the pulse, and that's what I've been doing. That's the reason I ran to begin with, is to focus on flooding. And for 2016, when Matthew hit, that pushed me over the top 2 run because I thought that we could do something better. To provide a service better for our community, to be able to do something to help us, a response time, and working together, and being proactive versus reactive, that type of thing. So, and we've done that. We've done that, and I'm proud to say that our folks here in Illinois County and the city of Kinston has done a great job. Our city, what you would call emergency manager, is what you would call the fire chief, who works directly with Illinois County Emergency Services as the point of contact. So we worked great together. I foresee it going good in the future. I just want to continue the relationship moving forward, and to be able to keep our city from going underwater in the future. So it's going to take a little bit of time, like it has, but I can tell you, we made some progress as to trying to put things in place, and how can we do it. My thing is this, I won't stop advocating. If I do my part, I want everybody else to do theirs.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, and keep advocating.
Yes, sir.
It's tough. And how about that with Matthew, when the way the storm came in and then the Neuse River starts flowing upstream?
Right.
I mean, that's crazy. A little farther down from us, but that's cataclysmic. That is crazy.
It is.
I don't know if you know this or not, and you might, but every Monday morning, about 125 people in Lenoir County receive an email with a few prayer requests, and it's called the Lenoir County Prayer Works. And it's just a time where about 125 people in this county pray specifically for this county.
Okay.
What would you ask for prayer for?
Wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. And all I get, we must get understanding. So I ask that all 125 folks that are praying is to pray for abundance of wisdom for me to be able to see and understand and be able to have what you call some insight into what people are doing or thinking. I guess you would call that, there's a term for that, and I can't get the word at the very moment, but discernment. So I definitely need that to focus and know who is around me and who I can trust.
That's good. Thank you. And the prayer for wisdom and prayer for discernment, I will definitely pass that along.
Yes, sir.
All right. So last question. Okay. You win the election. You go back into City Hall, first day of the new term. Everybody's congratulating you. You get down to business. I actually have never been in the mayor's office. I don't know, if, but let's say you're in the mayor's office again. You close the door. It's the beginning of your second term. Who's the first person you call on the phone?
Well, Jesus is going to be the first person I talk to. but the first person I'll probably call in that particular moment as I'm at work is probably getting folks on the line to see where we are as far as resources, and that will be in December. So now I'm starting to look at, okay, where are we? What vaccinations? Where are we with testing? Where are we with food? Moving forward, this is December, so now we got to figure out how can we help some folks, with turkeys and or hams or whatever the case may be, to help them start off their Christmas or their family's Christmas the right way. So I just believe that that's a valuable thing in this present time, to be able to show love to the community. Thank those that have supported myself, and hopefully the council, and just trying to figure out what I can do to help them, and the resources that we do have, and the resources that I foresee coming. How do we put those to work the best way that we can?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for joining us today. I know you're busy. We really appreciate getting the chance to hear a little bit from you.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to be here, and I greatly appreciate you reaching out to me and asking that I, come.
Well, we're glad you could make it. Glad it worked with your schedule. And everybody, thank you for listening and being a part of this. As I said, we're excited to have all 4 candidates coming to sit with us. They've all said yes. If we can work it out, we're trying to. So check out all the episodes, because the same questions basically to everybody, and share this with your family and friends, because people need to hear what our candidates are saying, and we want to be a public that is informed and thoughtful. Wisdom. Like you said, we want wisdom. You can check out all the other episodes of Encounter Grace and find real help. We really try to help folks see God's work in the world for our good. That's why we call it Encounter Grace. And so thank you for joining us again, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Great. And we'll see you all next time.
This is a ministry of Grace Fellowship Church in Kinston, North Carolina. Visit gracekinston.org or follow us on Facebook and Instagram.